Well, hello. How's it going, everybody? This is Kenema, and we're gonna try doing some City Skylines, but this time I didn't. I used to stream this. I don't really think I have any videos on my channel, but we're gonna do stuff a little bit different because I want to kind of do a map overview first, and then start a city. So if the city fails because of anything related to the resources of the map, then it's our fault or my fault. Um, so instead of doing like new games or anything, I want to go right into the content. No, not content manager, the tools, and go into the map editor. So I'm going to give kind of like a little overview of we can do. I don't know. I kind of want tropical. I think I'm going to do a tropical area and create. There is the European, but you don't really get the same building height and everything. So now I've played around with these tools a little bit. I'm nowhere near an expert at it, so this map may look a little derpy, but we'll kind of go over it, and I'll probably do a lot of off-camera work to clean things up. So basically, we have our requirements. We need running water, we need highway connections, and we need train tracks, ship routes, plane routes, oil, all those natural resources and good stuff. So you have your main starting area here, which you can change by clicking on the gear and clicking on this whole little start tile thing, and then you can select which one of these you want. Pretty simple about that. But you have your start tile, then you have areas that you can expand. Now you have all this areas on the outside, and I'm assuming that is for, I know there's some games that actually, or some mods that actually to let you unlock a lot of that playable area. But this is just so your map just doesn't drop off the, face of the earth. The world is flat. In this case, it is. So that's basically what it is. So then we have a couple of very cool tools here. Terrain. We have the one that's used the most, shift tool. We can change our brush size, strength. So brush size right now is very, very small. Let's go ahead and bump this up some. And I'm going to mess with out here a little bit. And you can see that jumps up really fast. So just left click, jumps so fast, right click, it lowers it. So, we have this area. Now you notice it will only lower it to a certain depth, and that's okay. We can, if you needed a little bit more, things deeper than this, you can go ahead and just raise the terrain around it and flatten that out. But in this case, this is fine. I don't know. I may raise some terrain, getting into some of the designs and mountains and stuff. But the brush strength, if you take this down and you right click, it goes very slowly, a lot slower than it was doing. This is a good way to adjust and fine tune your area. Now you have different brush size. You have basically this is, kind of fans out. This is more of a hard straight. Stuff like that. Then you can kind of add in some textures, a little bit more detail, different things. That way, you just don't have like a nice smooth flat area. The next tool is the level tool, which is you can use the same brushes, but you can see you can set the terrain height. So if we want to take everything up to, let me type 75. It will level everything out that we just did. To 75. So that may not be that bad of a height to start everything. It's not much, but so as you can see now, we can go all around the edges and everything. So probably don't want to do that just yet. So it's very cool. You can set your terrain height, and that way you get a whatever terrain height you want. Now I want to go ahead and go back to this and raise some stuff up a little bit. So there's another tool, kind of like a soften tool, that you can see how it just kind of softens the edges so it's not as steep. So it's a very good tool to to use to kind of level set a few things. That way it just doesn't look like a huge steep mountain. And then this tool is actually very cool. It's a slope tool. You can left click and then right click up here, and then as you left click and drag, it will make a slope up to that point. So that's kind of how you can, get nice areas, kind of going up to the part that you wanted, and it adds this little extra texture here, the transitions of the slope and everything. So I think this tool is very nice as well, and you can kind of get a lot of these different plateaus and different things. It may interrupt your building a little bit, but it still could be kind of nice. So, and then you can kind of take undo. Soften tool, and kind of adjust these areas a little bit. So they're not as kind of lumpy, basically. And so you can kind of do that, and that kind of cleans things up a little bit, so you can still build on it, but then have kind of the different textures and mountain cliffs and stuff like that. And we can go ahead do that. And soften that up a bit. So it adds a little bit of extra, like the rock and stuff in there too. And yeah, so you can kind of make quick little hills and different things with different designs, and kind of work at it. I've been using I was just using the straight brush, but then you can kind of add in, it's still on the smooth. That gets a little extra rigidness to it. If you wanted that way everything didn't look as smooth and polished, and you can make some unique stuff with some of these tools. It's very in depth as far as some of the maps. Now, one of the very cool feature is these import and export. So if we click export, right now we don't see much. Let's get some more areas up here. Let's brush shrink a little bit larger, and make nice little mountain chain. And actually, you know what? Let's make the terrain height. It is the tropical area, so I don't want to do it too high. Let's make it actually an even 100. Work with even numbers here. And let's take the brush, and let's go ahead and bring, you know what? Let's take delete. And we'll smooth out the edges and stuff, but let's go ahead and bring up this area. All in the start area, all this out here as well. We'll kind of adjust it, and we'll go make some spots higher than what I had the height set, which that's weird, it changed, or smaller. But if we go into this export, You can see the areas of the height is actually a little bit, let's make it a little bit rough here. Brush strength, raise it up so it's faster. Okay, so now if we look at the export, you can see the height is actually affected by these areas. And so you can essentially like export this, edit this PNG file in like Paint using white and gray and make an actual like a height map, and then go ahead and import it right back. So, you know, I think some people have actually taken like height map schematics of real places, I should say that, and brought it into their game, cleaned it up a little bit, but then they had, you know, like actual cities, landscapes. So, which is pretty cool that you can do that. So, let me go ahead and let me get, you know what, let's say 75 or no 150. Yeah, so we have that, these island areas. Bring that in a little bit closer, because we'll have kind of a river running through that. An island out here. And actually, let me clean up the landscape a little bit before we get into the next areas, and I'll get the landscape exactly kind of how I want it. And we're back. So I went ahead and see I got quite a bit done. I don't know if I'm fully set on it, but I need to go ahead and jump into the next part, and that is the water. So you can do a couple things here. You have water source blocks, and you have water level. So we can move this up just a little bit. And you can start seeing kind of where you may have to do a little bit more cleanup. We can set it, what if we go up to 100? Close to 100. So you can kind of get a feel for your area with that water. And see, these kind of, it may need to be adjusted a little bit. Some of these areas may need to be adjusted, but that's what at sea level 100. And I wanted all of these, they're independent islands, so I may have to kind of go down with some of these. This may be okay. And some of these areas, little too deep, I guess. So, but I wanted this kind of with a cliffside. This is going to have roads going to it. And then there's a couple other things you can do. I'm going to leave the water level like this. I'll adjust the land around it. But then there's this water source. Now the water source is actually really interesting mechanic in physics, the way that they did this. You can place it down and you can click and drag, you know, a water level for this to go in. And I hope that one is not going to, so I can click and move it, and it's gonna, reset the sea level. It's gonna fill this up, and I hope it doesn't overtake some of this world. But you can see the water. If we get down, it's basically rushing out of that water source, and it's going to fill up to everything that is up to the white level. So we'll have a little bit of stuff rushing out there. You can see it's slowly kind of taking over and flowing out. And then I also wanted to do the same over here. I'm gonna bring that up to about there. So very high. I'll be kind of curious to see what this does, and watch it flow. You can see this is filling up some more, and I have several different layers of terrain, so I don't know how this is actually going to affect it. But just remove. But it's pretty cool. You can kind of just tell just from the water how it's kind of rushing down and filling in, and that's your flow, your movement. Yeah, so you can click on the. Right now you can see the arrows start forming. Same with over here. Right now they're all forming from the water source. It's got a lot to fill up over here, so I'll be kind of curious if we speed it up over time what happens. What about in here? See this? It's really nice the way they did this. Kind of the water kind of rushes in. Now over time, I think I don't know if they've included like evaporation and stuff, but I know in like some of the larger cities, you notice these water get used up quite a bit. So I want to make sure that you have that water kind of coming in and staying there. I think I was going to put a water source here as well. Not to that level. So that way water can kind of flow over the land, and it's not where it should go. We'll see if that fixes itself. So this is coming out here. Now this is actually kind of flowing over the land, which I guess is kind of fine. And what is this doing? Is this doing anything yet? This has got a lot of water to fill up. So it's going. I'm hoping this doesn't actually cause us problems. So you can see the start area now has a couple of. It's actually got a lot of water. Let's bring the terrain up a tad. And then we will smooth. A little bit of rough edges there. I'll leave some of those. Did I set that? Yeah, there we go. Okay. And let's bring this area up a little bit. Why is it lowering it? It said up. Interesting doing this with the water flow. Because it is higher up there. It's created us another, some more issues. So you can see, it does take some time to direct everything, get it going where you want it to. That should stop the water from. That water's really rushing through there. How's this doing over here yet? Is this even going up at all? Okay, so that should be leveling it out now. That water will clean up over time. You see it's rushing off the edges. So last thing we want is for, I want to keep some of those cliffs there. So this may not be the prettiest map. I said I'm kind of new at doing this too, but figured I wanted to kind of design my my world and then play on it. So okay. Water should rush in there and kind of fill up that area as well as in there. And let's bring this up a little bit and smooth that out. Is that still the smithing tool? Oh yeah. How's that height? So we got quite a bit of water flow in this starter area. All of it is rushing out, so which is good because we can put some pumps in different areas. And there's several different areas where we can put the sewage. We got a lot of flowing water everywhere, which is good. Let's raise this up a little bit. Okay, well let's go ahead and get into some of the other stuff. Now you can kind of add, you can do a few things by making areas that are fertile land. That. Get some fertile land action going in here. We'll do it over here as well. That's not really making progress too much. But oh well. Put in pockets of oil. And we'll do some somewhere in here. Kind of like there. Okay. And the ore, we'll kind of put primary brush. Is that actually doing? Doing stuff? Under the, okay, okay, so I assume it is. Hopefully. It's not highlighting that much on the map, but we'll see. See what it's doing. Trees. Now we get the fun stuff. Before we get into trees, let's look in the environment. You can do things like sand, so you can kind of, you know, make more sandy beaches. Nope, didn't want to go all the way up there. Undo? Why not gonna undo? Is there secondary to remove? Okay. Let's take this brush size down a little bit. So you can kind of go in and kind of customize your area, get nice and sandy, especially the beach areas. Oop. And we want a lot of beach areas over here. All along this. So I can customize the shore areas, which is nice. Get it nice little beachy feel. Same over here. Not up there. And around these areas. So that kind of ties into the map a little bit, especially with it being in the tropical areas. I don't really care for this too much. How about we just lower that some? That should allow the water to kind of rush in there. Is this still? Is this raising all? See what that does, if that helps this area. Because I really want these waterfalls. Okay. It's caused some interesting ripple effects, but that's our area so far. Now let's get into doing some trees, and then we'll... so there is a cap on trees, unfortunately. But this just randomly spreads them out, right? Yeah. Do a large brush. Painting trees all over the place. Now I guess we really don't want... Is that removing some of them? Yeah. Get a little bit out here, but I like actually putting some trees in the town. So we don't want to use up a lot of our cap on the areas we can't really build in. But we still want to make it look kind of good. Yeah, lots of trees. Painting the trees. Oh, let's hit that to be sand. And now we can go back and add in little bushes too, but I'm just gonna do this. I don't know, does the beaches really need trees? Yeah, we'll leave them. So next thing we gotta do is transportation roads. We need to have, in here, we need to have some highways going through. This area looks like it's getting water. Why not the rest of it going up? We need to have some highways going through, and we got to figure out our way of travel, because most of this is just islands, except for over here. So I'll try to figure out, do some roads coming through here. Let me go ahead and I'm going to get all the rest of this mapped out, because this video is getting pretty long, and then kind of cut back when I have a finished product. Okay, everybody, we are back and we are done. I think I'm pretty happy with this. I went ahead and put in some extra, did an extra little work. It looked like all this water was running out back here. So I blocked that off, and you know what, again, let's put little plants, some bushes too, the bush. Yeah, so went ahead and did that. That water kind of caused these to flow, and I got the little waterfall effects that I wanted. Look at that. And over here. So I like how the rough looked. I wanted to keep it kind of like this. The water kind of slowly kind of going through and everything. And also over here, and we have this smoothed out area for, you know, coming across. Now, yeah, I know it's kind of cheaty because I don't have to build them later, but I do have bridges and highways running in all over the map, and I raised them up so you can put roads, and it actually helped out because, see, now we can put like the train tracks and other stuff underneath it, and I think that looks better than having all these roads going on top of your highways. I think the highways should be a little bit higher up. It's not really neat and clean. It probably could be fixed up. Wow, this is going to be a nice, interesting roller coaster effect. I did use someone's template that I liked and already had downloaded. What is this at nighttime? all of this and only this one main bridge here. Very nice. So pretty nice. Let's I think I saw you can take, yeah. If we take like a, I don't know what we can do with these photos, but I'm gonna try to put this up on the Steam Workshop, but this is what I'm gonna start out on, and hopefully like it. We have, you know, plenty of water from over here. Now this area doesn't have too much except for these streams. Is this flowing? Is there any flow to? There's not really. What I may do, put like a water source here, and that way things are flowing kind of both ways. And that also prevents, if we do put some sewage down here, you know, the crud from filtering out. So yeah, I like that. So yeah, so basically we have that. We have railroads running all over, zigzagging through the different islands. So some of these, if we do want to build on them, I didn't want to just put roads on every island to make it super cheaty, but I got them on most of them because I had to connect 4 sides, and at least 4 paths. So this road comes out of this side twice, you know, it comes across, cuts up there and over there. Same with the railroad, kind of comes across from here, and it kind of goes over. It'll be nice to see these trains, because they'll come through there and come over all these little bridges. And it's a shame we won't be able to build out here unless maybe that mod will unlock it to allow you to build on more than the squares that you're allotted. But it's okay. I think with all the other stuff, and I'm hoping this doesn't turn out to be too big of an issue, but we'll see. I think I'll like this layout, and hopefully y'all do too. But I think that's going to do it. This is a very long episode. I'm probably going to label it on map making for Cities Skylines, and look for this up on the Steam Workshop very soon if I can figure out how to do it. So anyway, I think that's going to do it. Now the most important thing is save map. We have everything. We will call it what's a good name for it? I don't know. I'll think of something. I usually do, like, my city is called Kinsville. I'll call this Isles of Kin. Publish and new game panel? What's that? Okay. Oh yeah. Yep. We definitely want to do that. Map name. Put it there too. It's got everything. Oh, and we can select our screenshots. I thought it took more than that. Okay, there's the one with the bridge. I like that one. So let's save. Very nice. Oh, we got an achievement. So basically, hopefully we can get this uploaded and to the Steam Workshop. I got to figure out how to do that. But thanks for watching, everybody. This has been Kinema, and I will talk to you later.